Hi, this is going to be a virtual lecture about the Adlerian theory. In this lecture, we're going to focus on the actual therapeutic process. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the therapeutic process. So, what are the overall therapeutic goals when you're using Adlerian? It is to develop the client's sense of belonging and assist in the adoption of behaviors and processes that are characterized by community feelings and social interests. So remember, if you should have read Adlerian theory, there's a lot of key concepts that talk about the importance of belonging, the importance of that community feeling, having a social interest, which is interest outside of yourself, being someone that wants to be helpful to society, etc., etc. So this is a part of those therapeutic goals. He wants clients to develop an awareness, so self-awareness. And then we want clients to modify fundamental premises. So, what do we mean when we say fundamental premises? Fundamental premises are those early concepts, those early things that we may have learned early in life from our family. So one fundamental premise that people may learn from their family of origin is the idea of being perfect. And your parents may not have said to you, "Oh, you have to be perfect," but it's you have to get good grades. Those grades have to be A's. You have to, if you play sports, number two is great, but it's better to be on the winning team. Those fundamental premises, underneath that is the ideology of perfectionism. And then children grow up with the idea that I always must be perfect. So that's an example of a fundamental premise. Also modify any life goals. So what are those things that we wanted to do? And were those things based on what we wanted? Or were those goals based on what our families may have wanted for us? So a part of the therapeutic process is to help people to modify those things in life that maybe were constructed not based on their own personal needs and wants, but based on everyone else's. And then also just some of those basic concepts that we learn in general. And as we know, sometimes those basic concepts in life don't always really serve us. Once again, another basic concept could be have to be perfect. Another basic concept could be that we tend to learn is, you have to be strong, don't show your emotions, things like that. All right. Adlerians do not view clients as being sick. Instead, he looks at the growth of personality. Let's go on to the therapeutic process. So counseling focuses on, so as a counselor, we want to provide clients with information. We want to teach. We want to help guide them. And we want to offer encouragement. Mozak and Massini says the following. They believe that a part of the therapeutic process, we should be fostering social interest, which means what's happening outside of ourselves that we should be interested in. That is that sense of community, that sense of, those things in society that need to be fixed. So, social interest, helping clients overcome feelings of discouragement and inferiority, modifying the client's views and goals that is changing their lifestyle. So once again, we want those things in our client's life to be there that serves them. And a lot of times, depending on how we were raised, we often do things for other people, everybody else other than ourselves. So we want to help to modify those things, change any faulty motivation. So what are the reasons why we do what we do? Sometimes we are very giving people. We overgive, we overhelp. Well, The faulty motivation might be because we're seeking constant validation. So we want to change that. We want to change that need to seek validation through these things. Encouraging the individual to recognize equality among people and helping people to become contributing members of society. And that really goes back to that social interest. What are those things outside of ourselves that matter? How do we show up in the world to help the world deal with some of the problems of the world, the problems of our society, the problems of our communities? The therapist function. The therapist should help clients. Clients become discouraged. And because of that, they may function ineffectively. They have mistaken beliefs, faulty values, and then goals are not achieved. Once again, these mistaken beliefs, these faulty values, these often come from our experiences, especially early experiences, what we've learned in school, what we've learned at home, and sometimes those things don't serve us. A faulty value, I've talked about this. I must be perfect at all costs. A faulty value, I must be loved at all times by everyone. Faulty values. Therapist role, we want to help clients to correct those mistakes. When clients deal with things like mistrust and selfishness, unrealistic ambitions, lack of confidence, here, our job is to understand, challenge, and change their life story when these things exist. The therapist function and role, we want to also do what we call a comprehensive assessment. And we're going to talk more about this comprehensive assessment in class. Here, this is a questionnaire where we look at the family constellation. So that is the family of origin. Parents, siblings, and others that lived in the home. Life task, early recollections, those are those memories. So that lifestyle assessment involves these things. The end result is that once we gather this information, we can identify the major success and mistakes in clients' lives. And then from there, we can establish targets for therapy. What is the client's experience in therapy? Clients need to make changes. They want to explore their private logic, beliefs that interfere with social interests and social belonging. All right, sometimes our lack of trust, for an example, may cause us to not fully engage in relationships. So that's just an example, right? I can't trust. People are out to get me. So those type of private logics can interfere with relationships, friendships. So we want to help clients to explore those things and then change those logics. Help clients to correct, once again, faulty assumptions. And there are some examples on page 106. Hopefully. I'm sorry, the editions change so much with these books. But we'll go over faulty assumptions more in class. But one of those faulty assumptions, everybody must always love me. That's the faulty assumption at all times. Okay, that sounds good, but the idea is that that's not always doable. Everyone will not always love us. People will let us down. People will not always show up for us like we need them to. Okay, so those to me are examples of faulty assumptions. And then finally, the relationship between the therapist and the client. There should be an egalitarian relationship, which means it's equal. There should be trust, mutual trust, respect, confidence, and collaboration. We work together with our clients to establish the goals that they would like to establish. And that is it. That is the end of the therapeutic part of this theory, in which we are simply looking at the therapeutic process. Thank you.